All right, so here we go. For this episode, I wanted to continue off with what we had, basically to catch everyone up. We have a pretty much a dashboard, and we have a simple landing page. We come here, we get to the dashboard, and we're able to pull in stock data with candlestick charts from the TradingView API. So that's what we've been able to accomplish in the first two episodes, which was the install and creating this very rudimentary dashboard view with the candlestick chart. Um, so yeah, oh, and you can also do these little rinky-dink like buy and sell, and then yeah, and then you can see your positions here and you can see your history here. So there's a little bit of user tracking and history happening here. But ultimately, I'm just getting a lot of the basic building blocks in place uh, for this dashboard. And I think today, what I'm most interested in doing next is adding Anthropic to be able to analyze the charts and be able to answer questions for us about the charts and maybe potentially give us uh, hypothetical scenarios to think about for positions. So this is still going to be incredibly basic. It's going to be a very make it work than make it right. So the UI is still not there. Oh, look, it's already in there. Cool. Surprise. So yeah, off camera, I put in the .env file, the Anthropic. So here's it. Okay, cool. I guess that's fun. Surprise. Uh, so here's a simple AI analysis. Short-term outlook, the recent positive momentum in Apple stock with 0.55% increase on the day, success, a bullish short-term outlook. Risk assessment, trading recommendations is to hold, key factors, suggested position size. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're pulling in data. We have an analysis coming in. Um, I should have checked this, but I just turn OBS on and go. So this is very shooting from the hip. So that's pretty cool though. I mean, let's see another one. Um, let's see this lithium stock I used to look at, LAC, Lithium America Corporation. Let's see if it gives us something that's, because this ain't something you probably want to hold on to. I don't know. Let's see what it says. Um, the recent decline in LAC stock price coupled with a volatile trading volume suggests a cautious short-term outlook. Okay, yeah. Uh, Trading recommendation is to hold, so that did it the same. So this is kind of cool. You can pull in some, I guess, some, you know, information from this. I still want to also get other support indicators in here, such as the MACD, the RSI, and the Bollinger Bands, um, and then have the AI be able to talk to us about that as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to think about here. Ultimately, I want to tinker with this AI analysis today. So, and we'll probably clean up this dashboard too because it's pretty illogical. So, first things first, let's look at this AI analysis and check out what's going on there. I want to look at it. I think it's fun to look at the actual code. And I know people are always curious about what does the code look like for that? So we have this analyze route.ts file that is going to do our backend requests. And specifically, we have a hard-coded prompt that goes in the prompt variable. So just to give us more real estate. So right here, this is where it is. We have our variable prompt, and it's basically this right here. You are a sophisticated financial analyst AI Analyze the following stock data and provide trading insights. Stock, current price, change, market cap, volume, historical performance, portfolio context. So this is where you could also pull in your own portfolio, which we'll get to. And then provide a concise analysis, including short-term outlook, risk assessment, trading recommendation, key factors to watch, suggested position size, and then a rate limit. We're using Claude 3. I can't ever remember that this is using Haiku, which is like their cheaper model. You can use the more expensive ones, and I've used Claude 4, and eventually we will upgrade to that. But for now, we don't really need that much compute. And yeah, then we have some try and catch blocks over here. So yeah, that's what the code looks like. Why don't we try and get a better view for I always forget how to get the global chat back. I was doing on my own for so long. Yeah, okay. I worked on satellite AI, which is like my own cursor, and forgot how to do some of the key commands for cursor because I had to do my own so many. I rewired my brain. Okay, cool. Let's get this going. So we'll bring in the route. We're going to bring in this dashboard page. Let's bring in trading view chart. What else do we got over here? I mean, the more the merrier sometimes. So what else we got? I want to see the actual, yeah, dashboards in there. Okay. Okay, so bring in candlestick chart, stock info. That should be fine. Because what I want to do is actually create a little chat interface. So this should be sufficient. Actually, we're going to need a little more high-level files for this. Page. So we'll bring in the actual root level page. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot going on here, to be honest. Our dashboard. Let's start with that. I want to integrate a chat box interface to be able to have context of the stock price being rendered and be able to chat and ask questions about the stock and potential risks and positions. That's a lot, but we'll see. I mean, it's been doing pretty good so far. Perfect. I can see your current stock data flow. You already have a great foundation with the AI analysis endpoint. Create a AI chat API endpoint, a chat component that's aware of the current stock context, integration into your existing stock search component. Okay. Cool. So now it's going to create a new chat API endpoint with a route.ts. AI. So we have these subfolders. AI. So we'll do AI, right? It's going to be API AI chat. API AI. New folder chat. And then we're going to have a new file, which is going to be route.ts. And then we're going to plug that in there. I always like to kind of let this thing finish printing before I really get into transferring it over. Sometimes it like bugs out, and I don't know. It's like it bugs out if I start clicking and shit around it. So yeah, cool. So it gave us some sort of interface. We can ask questions. Cool. Some more features. Contextual awareness knows about the current stock being viewed, including price, market data, and technical indicators. We haven't had any portfolio integration, but when we do it, we'll know about it. Okay, quick questions. Yeah, okay, so it gave us some pre-packaged buttons to just be able to inject. Expandable interface. That's what I was kind of picturing too. Okay, let's see what we get. This should be pretty straightforward. And when I mean straightforward, it'll probably give us like 300 errors that we'll have to spend 30 plus minutes figuring out. So this should be straightforward. Cool. It likes us for now. I mean, there shouldn't be any real conflicting code when we're doing like the basic routing for this stuff. So stock, this has stock chat. Okay, so we go to components. And yes, I'm aware you can totally do this in the command line, and I totally should, but whatever. File, stock, chat, tsx, and also this should be broken into subfolders, and eventually we'll get there. Yeah, source component, stock chat. Okay, cool, we're there. Okay. Everybody's happy so far? Okay. So this is the actual UI for the stock chat. And then let's update the stock search component to include the chat interface. Okay, so this is a file we already have. Let's see if we can merge it without any errors. Looks like we're good. Bring in some imports. I already did it. Okay. Let's give this a shot and see what we get. Cool, there's already our little chat bubble. Let's do a little hard refresh, and then we'll see what we get. Do we have a hydration error? Of course we do. Okay, now we're good. Okay. Let's do NVIDIA. When can I afford a 4090? Oh, cool. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Hello, I'm your AI trading assistant. I can help you analyze NVIDIA and discuss potential trading strategies, risks, and portfolio positioning. What would you like to know? Okay, this is pretty tight. And as you could see, this took all of 5 seconds. When things are good, things are good, you know? So, yeah. What are the risks? Okay, so it keeps, that's a little busted. We're getting there. Look, okay. So now we have a response. Okay, let's take a look at the key risks with a potential NVIDIA position. High valuation. The P/E ratio of 55.62 is quite elevated compared to the broader market, indicating potential overvaluation. Cyclical industry. The semiconductor industry can be cyclical. Competitive pressures. Macroeconomic risks. A potential economic downturn or rising interest rates could negatively affect demand. Given my portfolio balance of damn near $100,000 and no current NVIDIA position, I would suggest proceeding cautiously with any new video investment. Okay. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I mean, you get 1,000 shares. That'd be, let's ask. So what if I bought 1,000 shares? God, the UI's a mess, but it keeps like progressive loading down. Like keeps pushing me down. That's not progressive loading, but it keeps scrolling me down. Sounds like a 90s song. Um, I like the way this looks though. It took in the global stylings like really nicely. Um, just the layout of all this is complete illogical garbage, but it's parsing the response really well. When I first learned how to do this, like, I don't know, a year or two ago, whatever, like, I would have to spend a bit more time getting it to be structured. So this is cool. I'm actually really happy with the fact that I did this in a couple refactoring prompts. It wasn't anything too in depth. So yeah, so back to what this says, and then we'll move on. But basically, if you were to buy 1,000 shares of NVIDIA, your total investment would be more than what I got. Um, I would recommend considering a more modest approach. Okay, to 200 to 300 shares to gain exposure without limiting concentration risks. Okay, hey, this is pretty rad. This is pretty rad so far. So let's let's continue. So I'm gonna save that. My OBS messed me up and I lost a bunch of the work I did. So just to sum up what I ended up doing, um, I ended up doing a big layout refactor and adding in the chat interface to be a small overlay panel. So this is ultimately what we ended up with in the footage that was lost. So um, do a quick hard refresh still. So we created a side panel to navigate. We still have our main view here, and then we have our assistant here. So we'll do a quick one. We'll do Google. It'll search it, and there you go. So now we have our candlestick chart for that, and we can uh, analyze the stock over here. And now we got a good synopsis of what the assistant can summarize for us. Stock analysis, Google is currently trading at 185 and is up a little under a point for the day. The stock has a 52-week range of 140 to 207, market cap of 2.2 trillion. Yeah, so it gives you a bunch of stock analysis recommendations. Google looks like a reasonably valued large cap stock. What else? I'd recommend a small initial position, perhaps 1 to 2% of your portfolio. Yeah, pretty cool. And then I also wanted to kind of just ask a question that was more related to like candlestick charts. So, what is a head and shoulders candlestick pattern mean? Cool. So now it can answer questions for me too. The head and shoulders candlestick pattern is a technical analysis chart pattern that simulates a potential trend reversal. Okay, the head, the highest peak in the middle. We could actually see if Google has one. Peak, the highest peak in the middle. Left shoulder, the first peak, slightly lower than the head. So maybe we'll call this the head and shoulders. Right shoulder, the third peak, also lower than the head. And then the neckline, an imaginary line connecting the bottoms between the left shoulder and the right shoulder. So if this is our head, that means the imaginary line they're talking about is roughly here. Let's see if I can get the mouse to do it. It's roughly here, I guess, or where it's probably where it's giving us. Yeah, I think that's actually closer. So interesting. Or I guess this is really the head and shoulders, right? The head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Imaginary line would be about there. So pretty cool. It signals a potential transition from an uptrend to a downtrend. So yeah, that seems pretty pretty reasonable. This pattern is considered a reliable indicator of a trend reversal, but it should be used in conjunction with other technical fundamental analysis. Cool. So yeah, basically that's what we got. We're able to now bring in AI Anthropic responses to analyze search results for the stocks we want to see. We have TradingView rendering a candlestick chart for us. We have a side panel for navigating. We can do our portfolio, positions, history, analytics. We haven't really gotten to this section yet. I still want to make sure that we can pull in, get the correct information to render. So the main goal of today was to get this chat interface up and going, and now we can correct and continue here on out. So thank you for watching, and tomorrow we will continue with getting tomorrow we're going to continue with getting the AI analysis to actually tell us what's going on in the chart. So that'll be fun. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.